Greetings everybody, I'm Pavlos here to break down another Champions League slate for Wednesday. I'm going to do something different for this video. I'm going to cover 3 matches all in the same video, so stick around because we have some nice insights for 3 Champions League matches on Wednesday. But before that, number 1 in soccer, plus 30 units, had another profitable day yesterday with some card plays in Brazil and Argentina. 41 and 27 run in soccer last 30 days, plus 26 units, and 27 and 6 run in 4% parlays, plus 78 units. We have a 4% parlay for Tuesday and another 4% parlay for Wednesday slate. You can find those at wt.buzz/pl, where you'll find the rest of my free plays and all my, in video format and in written format as well. And of course, all my subscriptions, the all access passes we call them. You can get 90 days of soccer for just $3.49, comes down to $3.88 per day. Really affordable, basically the price of a coffee in the US. Now onwards to our free plays, starting with Qarabag versus Chelsea, Champions League on Wednesday, 12:45 p.m. Eastern start. It's the early slate, be careful with those. We always see weird stuff. Qarabag are plus 700 underdogs at home. The draw is at plus 450. Chelsea are huge minus 275 favorites on the road. Spread is set at 1.5. Total is set at 3. Now Qarabag, they stunned Athletic Bilbao in the previous match. They took an early lead away from home. But that was actually their demise as well, because they turtled up in the defense. They fell behind. They retreated, and that allowed Bilbao to just play their game. They relentlessly pushed Qarabag, and they managed to beat them by 3-1. A Qarabag side that had won the first 2 matches, and one of them in a spectacular manner, I should say, as they came back from 2 goals behind to beat Benfica on the road by 3-2, and then they easily beat Copenhagen by 2-0 at home. This is a very tricky team that has scored in all 9 European matches so far in the season, qualifiers included. They have some quality up front, and they can definitely hurt Chelsea here. Now Chelsea coming off an away win at Tottenham on the weekend, which was just their 5th clean sheet in 15 matches this season, and just their 2nd clean sheet in 8 away matches in all competitions. So they've scored in all 15, so both teams to score is 10-5 regardless of venue, and 6-2 on the road. Now I think this game is much more tricky than the odds suggest, and keep in mind again that this is an early kickoff. We almost always see weird stuff happening in those early kickoffs. So the best bet here is both teams to score, minus 124 at Pinnacle. I'd bet this to minus 135. Reminder, we have 4% best bet loaded for Tuesday, so if you watch this in time, it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we have another 4% best bet. It's a parlay for Wednesday, 27 and 6 run with those, plus 78 units. Now onwards to our second match for Wednesday, Newcastle versus Athletic Bilbao, 3 p.m. Eastern start as well. Newcastle minus 230 favorites at home, draw at plus 370, Bilbao plus 670, underdogs on the road. Spread is set at 1.25 goals, total is set at 2.75 goals. So, Bilbao, they're missing their 2 best players coming into this match, the Williams brothers, along with Yuri Bertsice, Oyhan Santhet, and Marwan Sanadi, which leaves their offense pretty thin, I should say. They still have some quality players up front, but they're basically running their reserves at this point. So they won just 1 of 9 away matches in England over the years, so not very good travelers to England. This season they won just once on the road. It was actually their first away match of the season at Betis, but they were at full force then, fully healthy, and basically the guys that were responsible for the win are both injured. So take that result with a grain of salt. Since then they have 4 losses and 1 draw on the road, and scored just 3 goals in 5 matches. So they have a clear problem up front. They can't really score easy goals. Now Newcastle, they met sort of a heavy resistance on the weekend versus West Ham. They lost by 3-1, which put an end to their 3-match winning streak. However, that was on the road, where they're just not as effective. At home, they won 6 and lost 3. However, those 3 losses were against good sides, and a couple of them were pretty unfair, I should say. First, they lost to Liverpool by 3-2. They were down to 10 men for the entire second half, but they still managed to score 2 goals. and they conceded the losing goal at the 10th minute of stoppage time. So they put up a fight against Liverpool, so it was good for them. The other loss was a 2-1 to a superior Barcelona side in the Champions League. Pretty understandable. And they also lost 2-1 to Arsenal in a match where they were winning till the 84th minute, but again they conceded 2 late goals. So other than that, Newcastle have been pretty solid at home. They beat Tottenham, they beat Benfica in the Champions League, so they're really good and they're healthier, much healthier than Bilbao right now. So I think Newcastle will get the job done here one way or the other. Not sure if they can cover the minus 1.25 spread. Bilbao can be tight at the back at times, maybe not so much this season, but they do try to keep it tight. So Newcastle Moneyline is nothing to write home about on its own at minus 230, but if we pair it with the under 3.5 goals, the odds shoot up to plus 100, and it's a decent bet here. So the best bet for the Newcastle versus Athletic Club de Bilbao is a same game parlay with Newcastle win and under 3.5 goals. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, guys. We provide actionable information across all major sports. I'm doing soccer. Here are your Champions League free plays. You can find the rest of my free plays at wt.buzz/pl along with my premiums. Now onwards to our final match, and it's a good one, or an interesting one I should say. It's a match between Manchester City and Dortmund. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern start. City coming off a nice win against Bournemouth by 3-1. They won 5 of the last 6. They only lost on the road to Aston Villa, and they probably shouldn't have lost that one, but they're playing good soccer this season. Haaland is on fire. The dude is just bagging goals left and right. But now they're meeting a Dortmund side that, I mean, you never really know what to expect of Dortmund, right? Their 3 matches in the Champions League, they beat Copenhagen by 4-2. They beat Bilbao by 4-1 and had a 4-4 draw against Juventus. So they scored 4 goals in all 3 Champions League matches, conceded 4-1 and 2 in that span. So, I mean, they generally try to keep it tight at the back, especially when they play against teams who are better than them. For example, their match against Bayern Munich on the road, they lost by 2-1. They haven't really played against the teams that are much better than them this season, but they generally try to keep it tight at the back. Their offense, Guirassy is not at 100%. He's just struggling a little bit. So I think we're going to see a pretty tight match. I mean, we do have City who are, unless they're playing against a bad opponent like Burnley, they don't really score that many goals. I mean, they played 6 matches so far in the season at home. Only 2 of them had over 3.5 goals. The recent 3-1 against Bournemouth and a 5-1 against Burnley. So they beat Everton 2-0, they beat Napoli 2-0, they beat United by 3-0, and they lost to Tottenham by 2-0. So not so crazy scorelines for Manchester City at home. Now Dortmund, I mean, they're usually a team that goes to the under 3.5 goals, with a few exceptions. As I said, all 3 of their Champions League matches had a gazillion goals. And in their domestic league, though, only their away match against St. Pauli, a 3-3 draw, was pretty open. The other ones were pretty tight. So Dortmund can play frustrating defense at times. Keep in mind that these 2 teams, they met on 4 occasions in the Champions League between 21 and 22, and all 4 ended with fewer than 4 goals. So all 4 went to the under 3.5 goals. Now again, you never really know what to expect of City, but Dortmund, they usually deploy defensive lineups against better sides. They try to keep the score at a minimum. If they can get a result here, it would be huge for them. I don't think they will allow, Haaland and the rest of City to just do whatever they want. Keep in mind that Haaland was playing for Dortmund, so Dortmund, in theory at least, they know his weaknesses, they know his strengths. He actually faced Dortmund as a City player twice, and he didn't really do anything. So again, that was 2-3 years ago, and he's grown immensely since then. He's probably the best striker that we have right now. So again, you never really know. He could have a hat-trick by the halftime. The guy is just magical. But logically speaking, I think Dortmund will have a defensive mindset here, and there is a good chance we see up to 3 goals. So the Asian total is set at 3.25 goals. That's at minus 105. If you want to go under 3.5 goals at minus 130, minus 135. Also playable, but I'm gonna go with the under 3.25 goals. I don't wanna lay the juice. I don't wanna get odds, big odds. I'm gonna go with the under 3.25 goals at minus 105. I think that's a fair price, and still, if there are exactly 3 goals, we still get half a payout. So I think that's the way to go. So let's do a recap for our plays, our 3 free plays for Wednesday's Champions League slate. Qarabag versus Chelsea, 12:45 p.m. Eastern start. We're going to go both teams to score, minus 124. I'd bet that to minus 135. Moving on to Newcastle versus Bilbao, 3 p.m. Eastern start. We're going same game parlay with Newcastle win and under 3.5 goals at even money, plus 100. And the final play is Manchester City versus Dortmund, 3 p.m. Eastern start. We're going under 3.25 goals at minus 105. Reminder, guys, we are 27-6 run in 4% releases, 4% parlays, plus 78 units. We have one for Tuesday, one for Wednesday. So if you watch this in time, head over to my page, wt.buzz/pl. You'll find both of them locked and loaded. And a final note, 90 days of soccer for just $3.49 comes down to $3.88 cents per day. Really affordable, basically the price of a coffee in the US. And I think it's your best bet. You'll get all plays, all 5% releases, all futures from a bunch of leagues. So head over to my page and you'll find all about it. Also, let me know in the comments below what you think about these matches. Good luck. God bless.